Why not? Why not? Why not? So I was sitting here on this fine Saturday, 12 o'clock p.m. You feel me? And I haven't done a reaction video in a minute. I'm not gonna lie. Last week football games were hitting. This week we got some. We got Florida State, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU. And I just wanted a regular reaction video. You feel me? And I saw this one from good old Matty Balls. Uh, where are where are rappers one hit wonders? Wow, I cannot read. So yeah, I just wanted to feel me check up on the people I used to listen to in 2016. I see Ayo and Teo. I forgot who this nigga is. This nigga looks light skinned. So yeah, that's it.
A great time in rap and home to many great songs, but it also produced a lot of one-hit wonders. Whether it's bangers like Uber Everywhere and Coco, or dance songs like
I'm
Hit the
in
Corner
love
Juju on
with
that beat, all of
Coco.
these tracks were super viral. But now, many are wondering what happened to
Matty
these artists.
Balls.
So today we're going to be looking into some of rap's forgotten
Hey, Matty
one-hit
Balls.
wonders, starting off with OT Genesis. Real quick, I want to say, well, a lot of these guys were like true one-hit wonders. Some of them had like their hit song and then like maybe a couple other big ones, but in general, I think you could call them a one-hit wonder. And also, if you think anyone's missing, I've done plenty of one-hit wonder videos. I kind of have a series going, so if you're interested, check out the playlist that this is in after the video. And with that being said, let's continue. OT Genesis is best known for his 2014 hit single, Coco.
That's
But
the
aside
only
from
song I've
maybe
ever
one
heard
or
from this
two
dude.
other songs, most people haven't heard anything from him since. He was born in Atlanta but grew up in California, raised by his parents who moved to the US from Belize. In 2010, OT first started gaining some local traction following his somewhat successful song Touchdown. The song actually caught the eye of 50 Cent, who called OT himself to sign him to G Unit.
I've never heard of
OT
Touchdown.
wasn't signed to like a traditional deal, and 50 only actually had him sign for that one song instead of like his whole career, which was pretty weird. So eventually he ended up signing to Busta Rhymes. OT though had no idea how an advance worked, so he blew through all of his money, and after a year with nothing to show for it, he was almost dropped by the label. And when his
Damn.
career was almost over, OT recorded and released a game changer, and that was his song Coco. The song
I'm
with his
in
famous
love
chorus,
with
I'm in love with the
Coco.
Coco, dropped in 2014 and
I
couldn't
got
come
it
at a
for the
better time for
Lolo.
OT. Coco peaked at 20 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and even went on to go double platinum. The song did so well that eventually he put out a remix with Meek Mill and Jeezy. 2 days after he
never
put out
heard that.
part 2, he actually put out a part 3 of the song with Chris Brown. So obviously
Part
he was
3 is
milking the
dragging.
track for everything he could, but I mean it makes sense. It was his first big song. Even Lil Wayne remixed the song on his Sorry for the Wait 2 mixtape. Also, Pitbull, J Balvin, and a bunch of other EDM artists put out their own versions as well. Although I think Ed Sheeran's version might be the funniest.
I'm in love with the Coco.
Well, the song got
What the
remixed a
fuck?
ton by those in the music game
Why
and
did Ed
eventually
Sheeran
started
do
to
that?
achieve the meme status as well. A big part of this was the Coco trend on Vine.
I'm in love with the Coco.
Even Anthony Fantano and Filthy Frank parodied the song. And while it seemed like OT Genesis was on the fast track to be a one-hit wonder, he did put out one more big song, and that was Cut It with Young Dolph. Again, just like
Ooh,
Coco,
Cut It,
the
that was a
song
good-
did
I
very
remember the
well
Cut It.
and
Okay,
even
Cut It-
went
Cut It
double
was hard.
platinum, although this ended up
RP
being
on
his
Dolph.
last platinum record.
It's
Following Cut
Dolph.
It, only his
RP Dolph
2016
now.
song Push It made any type of waves. In his music career, OT never dropped an album, only releasing 4 mixtapes, which never really made it that big. And while he still continues to release singles to this
Cut It.
day, they just don't
Cut It.
perform
Ah,
anywhere near
Cut
as
It.
well as his hits.
Cut It.
While OT may have
Your
technically
price is
fallen
way
off,
too
he
high.
still
You
uses
need
his
to
passion
cut it.
to
That's our
appear as a
song.
feature
Great
on
song.
other artists' songs or tour around the world like in Asia and Australia. He also appeared on season 8 of MTV's The Surreal Life alongside Chet
Oh, got that. Too long. Battlefield.
Hanks and other celebrities. So honestly, things don't look too bad for him, and he's clearly made pretty good money off his 2 big songs. And while OT Genesis was able to use his hits to his advantage and continue touring, Sage the Gemini had a tougher time due to a few allegations. Sage the Gemini is a rapper who reached a decent amount of popularity, but is almost solely known by listeners for his song Gas Pedal. In 2008, Sage released
Oh,
his first song,
Gas
You Should
Pedal.
Know, on
Minute,
MySpace,
minute,
which actually
minute,
went kind of
ass.
viral on the
Okay.
platform.
Wait,
It
what
got
happened to
3
Sage?
released his first song, You Should Know, on MySpace, which actually went kind of viral on the platform. It got 3 million views. After this initial success, Sage joined Black Money Music Group, as well as the HBK gang, since he was close friends with fellow rapper I Am Sue. Then in 2013, Sage released 2 singles that completely changed his career trajectory. Those were the songs Red Nose and Gas Pedal. Both of these tracks went platinum. The viral success gave Sage a spotlight, which led to a record deal with Republic Records. And then in an attempt to keep the momentum rolling, in 2014, Sage released his debut studio album, Remember Me, which 7 years after its release reached gold. Although to be fair, the reason it went gold was mostly because he had the 2 big singles on there. Many critics said the album lacked diversity, which made it all kind of blend together. Although regardless, the album was received generally well, and later that year, Sage even landed a feature on Flo Rida's GDFR, or Going Down for Real. The song peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and also went on to go quadruple platinum, which obviously is a pretty big accomplishment even as a feature. Sage the Gemini really is one of those rappers that's like, you kind of remember him from back in the day, and he was like kind of
I had no idea who he was
time,
talking about.
He doesn't really have anything like too memorable, and that's because after this he started putting in more work behind the scenes.
She gonna say, hold on, she gonna say,
like a red nose. Around this time, he gained some attention for dating singer, actress, and American Idol winner Jordan Sparks. The relationship ended after 10 months, and some wild info dropped, which made things look pretty bad. For one, Sage first posted and pinned a long since deleted heartfelt paragraph following the breakup. Then, in a twist, he said the relationship was at first fake and just being pushed by his manager as a publicity stunt to sell his album. But then things got even weirder when a call between Sage and his ex-fiance leaked, where he mentioned wanting to stab Sparks.
Everything was fucking horrible. I guess she was fucking damn. She got on my nerves. I want to stab her. Like all this shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, she cool. She level-headed. She whatever. But but she's not no regular person. Like,
And obviously, he got some pretty negative backlash for this. He even discussed the drama later on in 2020.
I'm saying, so out of respect for her, I don't.
It was crazy, bro. That nigga hates eyes.
I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's that crazy nigga, bro.
I did some dumb shit though. I ain't gonna lie.
Nigga got like
as big as people thought it was.
Nigga got like a light skin talking about he want to stab a female.
But
come on, man.
I do apologize for it. It was horrible. I'm grown now.
Although, while this was a pretty rough look, his image took another hit when he was accused of SA back in 2015. However, there is no public record as to if she won the lawsuit or not, so it is hard to tell how things really worked out. Regardless though, this really hurt his music career. After about a 3-year hiatus from releasing music, he finally got back to the studio and dropped his 2017 debut mixtape, Morse Code. The tape did include his gold single, Now and Later, which blew up with the help of a Snapchat filter. But apart from the Snapchat song, the project got significantly less traction than his prior releases. Since the mixtapes dropped, Sage has put out around 30 different works, including singles,
them 2
remixes,
songs were
features,
hard,
and
bro.
music videos. But unlike a lot of his early stuff, none of these have
bro,
seemed to
Red
really get much
Nose
attention.
used
And
to
while
come
he's
on
still been able to
radio.
land
I
some
remember
pretty
he used to
major
come on the
features from
radio
artists like
heavy.
Chris Brown, the plays just aren't really coming in like they used to. He continued his career as normal though, still holding together a smaller fan base. At least that was until another recent SA allegation coming out in 2024, which apparently happened back in 2017. This time the assault allegedly happened at Chris Brown's house, and after the non-consensual act, Sage apparently made his victim sign an NDA. The whole story came out from TMZ, but went further viral when the alleged victim uploaded a TikTok explaining everything, which got 4.8 million views. In response, Sage took to social media denying these allegations. And while the story blew up pretty big,
I ain't turned shit off, low. Only people she not lying to is the police because they don't give out careers. Hashtag find new hustle.
An official police report was filed. Sage has not faced any legal repercussions, and apparently the police aren't even conducting an official investigation. So it seems like his allegations paired with just the repetitive music led to his big single not having too many massive follow-ups. And while Sage the Gemini's career was short-lived, Made in Tokyo was able to
somebody
make
can
his
just
laugh.
like
Made in Tokyo,
allegedly
like others
put
on
some
this
like
list, is
shit
a
on
name you
like
probably
stuff
have
like
not
that
heard
on
in a
you.
while. This is because he blew up mainly
remember
from the
this
song
Made in Tokyo
Uber
thing.
Everywhere back in 2016,
Like, bro,
and since then has only had a few
shit could like
songs
just
reaching
be like
half
just
close
false.
to as
Someone just
big as
lying
his
on her
first
name
hit.
just for
Made in
shits and
Tokyo
giggles.
was
and that
actually
can just
born in
ruin your
Honolulu,
career if you get
Hawaii,
enough of
but
those
grew up in a
people.
military family, so he moved around all over
Like,
and
it
spent
could
a
be
decent
true,
chunk
but at
of
the
his
same time, it
childhood
could
living
be
in
just
Tokyo.
completely
Although after
fabricated,
moving
and you
around to
just
all these
lose
places, he
everything.
eventually settled with
And
his
shit,
older
like, you
brother,
you
who was
never
an
even
artist
seen
named
this
24
person.
Hours in Atlanta. Tokyo's older brother formed a collective, which he also
that's scary.
joined alongside a few other underground artists. Around this time, Tokyo also met Metro Boomin, who he ended up collaborating with on
Metro
some
Boomin,
projects,
aka
which gave him
Boom.
some pretty strong connections in the music business. Soon after this, though, everything would change for him because apparently he was chilling in the kitchen with his mom and recorded his hit song Uber Everywhere. And I guess the chorus was spontaneous as well.
Oh, my brother was like, yo, I'm about to hop in Uber, I'm gonna call you back.
YouTube TV may drop your favorite channels. No more sports.
Okay, yeah, this is an out of death. God damn. Yo, get me out of here, y'all. What the hell? Out of Death. Another one. Fuck. That's weird, bro. I've never seen that Sage nigga like before in my life. That's my first time seeing him.
So much on Uber today.
At first, Tokyo really didn't even think of releasing the track. That was until a day later when he listened back to it and realized how catchy it was. After being released, the song peaked at number 51 on the Billboard Hot 100 and eventually went double platinum.
Damn.
Uber Everywhere was featured on his first mixtape, You Are Forgiven, which also contained his second hit, I Want, featuring 2 Chainz, which also went platinum. With 2 platinum tracks on his first album, things were looking pretty good for him. Back then, he was actually like one of my favorite artists. I love this whole project. He even got a Uber Everywhere remix with Travis Scott. About a month after the release of this mixtape, which had both of his early hits, it felt as if Tokyo couldn't miss as he released another big song, Skateboard P. Again, not really a one-hit wonder, more like a 2 or 3 hit wonder, but you know what I mean. This song even got a remix with Big Sean. Although after this hit, this is when the momentum began to slow down, as from this point on, Tokyo struggled to reach platinum status again. His following mixtape, Thank You Mr. Tokyo, and EP 24 Hours in Tokyo were received well, which aided him in being listed as one of the top 5 most streamed new artists of 2016 on Spotify. All this success also landed him a spot on the 2017 XXL freshman class list, alongside artists like A Boogie, Playboi Carti, Ugly God, X, and more. After this, in 2018, Tokyo released his first album's lead single, Ned Flanders, which featured the rapper A$AP Ferg, and it looked like it might have been his next hit, but it didn't go quite as big as his previous song. The next year, he struck gold again with his single Chuck E. Cheese, but after this, things started to slow down a bit. Even with features from big artists like J Balvin, Young Nudy, and Ty Dolla $ign in 2020 on his second studio album, Tokyo struggled to get the same numbers he once had. Lots of fans of his were vocal about how much they liked the new stuff, but it just wasn't enough for the mainstream. After this, he released a bunch of singles as well as another couple of albums, although again, while performing decently and receiving decent reception, they just didn't go as crazy as his old stuff. Nowadays, Tokyo still makes music with his unique Japanese influence, performing at colleges and also working a lot in the production side of music, so in the end, while he may not be receiving the same level of attention, he's still doing his thing for a pretty dedicated fan base. And while Made in Tokyo was able to make his career work for a bit, Ayo and Teo had a tougher time. Also lately, I've been drinking a lot of these White Monsters, not
so Made in Tokyo, like he still just released music,
but it's had me a little bit concerned about my heart health. So I made a doctor's appointment. I ain't finding a good provider and taking the time to actually call just to be put on hold. It took forever, and even after all that, they didn't have any availability for like 9 months. It was crazy. Heart problems are the #1 cause of death issue. You can qualified pay they have over boards sit down things, but a sick man only wants one. I came up with that quote myself. The duo Ayo and Teo probably brings back some nostalgic memories for you, especially with their hit song Rolex, which dropped in 2017. I don't want to rolly. Yeah, that's it. Dropped off the map. The two brothers grew up in Michigan, first rising to fame as dancers. They used social media platforms like Vine, Instagram, and YouTube, and that's how they began to go viral. At first, dancing was their main form of content. Their first early dance trend was called the reverse. Their popularity skyrocketed though in 202016 when they began posting clips that showcased not only their dancing talent but their personality.
They said they started wearing the mask because like they made ugly faces when they was dancing.
Music. However, all of this changed in 2017 following the release of their first track, Rolex. With its catchy hook and minimalist beat, the song became a hit, peaking at number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and going double platinum. Since its release, the music videos even joined the Billion Views Club on YouTube. But what really helped this track blow up was the accompanied dance that they made up for it.
What's up, Ayo? I'm Teo. We're Ayo and Teo. We're about to show you how to do the Rolex challenge, the Rolly way.
The success of the song even led to television appearances, performances at award shows, and collaborations with major artists in the industry like Usher and Chris Brown. Following this blow up, the boys moved to Atlanta to pursue their music careers and even signed a deal with Columbia Records later that year. So while dancing is what blew them up, seeing what they reached with their new song, they wanted to keep trying music. Although unlike many artists who capitalize on viral success by releasing albums or extended plays, Ayo and Teo's discography was pretty limited. Aside from a few follow-up singles, the duo didn't maintain a consistent output of new music. Their slower release schedule even led some fans to question whether they were still actively pursuing music careers. What made things worse was that even in the follow-up songs to Rolex that they did release, the duo struggled to replicate the same level of success. While songs like Us and Hold My Sauce gained some attention with their fan base, they didn't achieve similar mainstream traction. So rather than solely focusing on music, they continued to do content creation. This did help them maintain their relevance with their fans, but it also indicated a shift in their priorities. Early on in their peak, they were seen on almost every hip-hop publication, being featured in award shows and interviews, but as time passed, they began to fade away. In the years following Rolex, at multiple points the duo appeared to be taking breaks or even splitting through suggestive, ambiguous messaging on social media. They still put out some singles, but struggled to reach their prior level of commercial success. Some fans theorized that it was label issues because they do apparently have a ton of unreleased music, but this was never officially confirmed. However, regardless of the ups and downs, in 2020 the duo made it on TV with their show called The Sauce. In the show, they were tasked with finding dancers that were next up across America, with Usher judging talent in the end. Although the show ended after just one season, following the collapse of its host platform, Quibi. I don't know if you guys remember Quibi. I kind of want to make a video on that too, so let me know if you're interested in the comments. But aside from their show, since then they've mostly stuck to posting on YouTube and TikTok, where they have a decent sized audience, but they are nowhere near where they once were. So while it does look like they've maintained enough relevance to keep things going, Ayo and Teo likely won't reach the same highs they once had. And Ayo and Teo weren't the only ones to have a viral dance song. Unlike others on this list, you might not even recognize the name I Love Memphis. However, you've definitely heard his hit song Hit the Quan,
I love Memphis, but I also like dancing.
Memphis first got his start on social media under the username Straight Outta Memphis on Instagram, but he wasn't in the music game. At first,
most of these artists are like people I remember, like you feel me, whenever they had like a pep rally or something, or like a school dance, but they'll play these type of songs.
He actually started building up his following through posting modeling content, then later moved on to making comedy videos as well. Eventually, he reached around 72,000 followers, which is when he started moving away from the fun videos. At this point, he started making money by hosting and promoting parties, and through those parties, he grew his followers and also made a lot of connections. And by surrounding himself with the party life, Memphis realized the potential opportunity making music. Through his connections, he linked up with Miami Mike, who was Soulja Boy's manager, and started making music. And within less than a year in the music game, Memphis went on to put out his smash hit debut single.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Single Hit the Quan. This dance song was originally performed by Rich Homie Quan, and at first it got popular on Vine. At that time, most people just referred to the dance as simply the Rich Homie Quan dance. But 3 months after Rich Homie Quan popularized the trend with the music video for his song Flex, Memphis released his song titled Hit the Quan. The song allegedly cost him only $35 to produce, and it went viral on a whole nother level than Rich Homie's and eclipsed the original trend completely. The dance craze dominated social media with tons of people creating their original trend completely. The dance
this nigga fought not Floyd. His brother fought Floyd. This nigga boxed a 60-year-old Mike Tyson and is about to box Tank Davis in I don't know how many days, bro. This nigga, bro.
This craze dominated so
this nigga sticking his tongue, bro, you could never predict this, bro. I'm sorry. No way in hell did I think he was gonna be fighting the greatest boxer of all time as an old man. Now that he's fighting one of the current greatest. What's Tank, like a lightweight? I don't know, bro. It's so crazy. It's so crazy, bro. But this man Jake did that all by becoming a villain, bro. Just an annoying ass villain. A nigga that you hate, and he got bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Social media with
I respect people. I need to get on the Jake Paul method, bro. I need to make people hate me.
All this hype even got the music video to an impressive 91 million views. It pushed Hit the Quan to number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100 and even went platinum. After the massive success of this song, I Love Memphis was even invited on Ellen to perform the dance.
Here to perform his viral sensation Hit the Quan, please welcome I Love Memphis.
This man got on Ellen just to swing his arms around.
When asked, do you consider yourself a musician in an interview with Fader, Memphis spoke on his role in the music game in a surprising way, saying, I'm an entertainer. A lot of people are like, what song are you going to put out next? But I'm much more worried about what I'm going to do next. My goal is to just be the biggest I can be. It's about showcasing my talents, and it's about being the best I can by using music as a stepping stone. It's not even about music. This surprised a lot of people, but it revealed a lot about his thoughts on the music game and what would come in the future. Because after Hit the Quan, his impact in the music game fell drastically. Later that year in 2015, Memphis put out his second song, Lean and Dab, which performed alright, but nowhere near his first drop. He also was even able to sign a record deal and go on tour with his music and dances in 2016. However, a few months before he first dropped Hit the Quan, something bad was going on behind the scenes. Early in 2015, Memphis was charged for allegedly participating in a gang of a woman who was under the influence. While he denied the charges and planned on fighting them, the accusation came at a time early in his rise when his image was new and very impressionable. As years went by, he continued to release musical projects with little success and the case hanging over him. In 2017, the charges were eventually dropped as DNA evidence allegedly proved him innocent, but the damage to his career was already done. Memphis said, "It cost me $100,000. You know, it cost me a lot of money paying lawyers, endorsement deals."
That's so crazy though. See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I'm talking about, bro. Like for real. This man was up and coming like a year in, and then he just had some random allegation talking about he was in a gang. You feel me? A gang, like, you bro, and it came out it wasn't even true. There's no evidence of him on it, and like that just completely derailed his career. Just cause like it's like that's what I'm talking about, bro. Just allegations, dude. Like, bro, that's so wild. That's just so wild to me that allegations could just completely not even truthful, just derail.
Well, the accusations definitely. Having people book me for shows and then coming back and saying they can't go through with it. Well, the accusations definitely damaged his career significantly. It wasn't the only reason, because in reality, most people just didn't really want to listen to new music from him. At this point, he hasn't even posted a new song on his YouTube since 2022, and it doesn't look like much will change. As I mentioned with the foreshadowing earlier, Memphis always believed he was more of an entertainer than a musician, and while music got him his big break, it was never really what he wanted to do. Nowadays, he posts more as a lifestyle influencer, getting pretty significant views on TikTok among his fans. But again, this attention is nowhere near his peak. And after being arrested in 2022 for disorderly conduct and not putting out music for a couple of years, it seems Memphis won't be doing much in the music game and will probably stick to the influencer grind. So I love Memphis.
Shit, it don't sound like he found it. Just like he just don't release music. Like he still got something going for him. He got a little TikTok following. You feel me? You know what I mean? Hey, bro. See, I love music, bro. He just pivoted. This is what he wanted to do all along. He didn't even say it's not even about the music. So look like that nigga doing something for him.
This may have fell off a bit, but Zay Hilfiger still has had some virality, although it might not be for the best reason. Zay Hilfiger and Zayon McCall, like everyone else on this list, are really known for one song. And also, like many others on this list, it was a dance song called Juju on That Beat. Hilfiger started his career posting on social media where he made raps, dances, and comedic skits. With his online presence, he was able to land a couple of local shows where he got the attention of a film producer, Timothy McCall. Through working with Timothy, Zay Hilfiger met Timothy's son, James McCall, who rapped under the alias Zayon. The two started working on music together and eventually created the hit song Juju on That Beat. At first, this song only got around 18,000 views, but then a month later it was re-released and out of nowhere received around 45 million views. The song, which apparently only took them 5 minutes to make, quickly took off as a dance trend. In just a few weeks, it shot up to number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and eventually went double platinum, taking these guys from nowhere to mainstream very quick. Soon after its initial growth, Atlantic Records signed them and their song to a deal.
Rereading the same sentence for the 5th time. When your stomach starts growling.
Shut up.
Capitalizing on its virality. A big part of what made Juju on That Beat blow up was the dance being recreated online. The trend was so popular that people as big as LeBron and Shaq posted their own versions.
Bro, this 480p
the music
ass
video, which was later uploaded, soared even higher than previous releases, reaching around 490 million views. At this point, Zay Hilfiger and Zayon were 16 and 17, and they had already made it on Ellen, Good Morning America, and Disney. So with all of this time ahead of them and a record deal, it seemed like they were going to the moon. But what followed was not quite the case. Almost immediately after their blow up, the duo unofficially split, apparently following an argument on Instagram Live. However, while they did claim to be cool, as a duo they never ended up making another song together and decided to pursue individual careers. About a year after his blow up, Hilfiger faced multiple allegations, including alleged domestic assault on his girlfriend, who ended up getting a restraining order against him. And he also apparently assaulted his roommate on multiple occasions. At one point,
this nigga like to fight people.
In the months and years following, Hilfiger posted a ton of songs and remixes, none of which got the same attention. But even then, at least some of his songs would break 100,000 views. Although this also slowly died out as time went by and he posted less and less on his YouTube. He eventually started vlogging, and one of his first attempts, ironically, was a video titled WTF Happened to Zay Hilfiger. Vlogs were not the only thing he branched off to. As you may remember, he went viral for starting an OnlyFans. Ironically enough, it got him kicked off Instagram and Twitter, but this was a classic Hail Mary cash grab.
And I ain't gonna lie, I went from living in a mansion with Don't Need the Lights Global, Lil Pump, money, you know, on a good road, to getting all the way down to living on Inglewood, you know, stuff like that. But one thing my supporters always was like, you know, what happened? Like, what is this? Like, did you go broke? And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't broke as
damn.
My OnlyFans wasn't for to say, oh, I'm sexy and I know it.
Fuck.
It was more like, I'm trying to get paid so I can release these music videos and then I can do this with y'all. But I didn't want to come on here and take money from y'all.
And this whole adult content venture somewhat broke the internet for a bit. All of this wildness even ended up with Adam22 having Zay on himself.
The market.
But you were getting pegged on there too, right?
Not at first.
Not at first, but you did do that,
Wait. So this nigga actually was, nigga said not at first. Damn, nigga, damn. Damn, all for money, bruh. Damn, bro. Now that is hard though. Like 16, 17-year-old just skyrocketing to popularity and shit. And then just out of nowhere, just as fast as you grew, you just fall right back down. Damn, bro. In fact, like he tasted that. Why is this nigga doing this? Damn, bro. Damn, nah, I can't imagine. I guess that's a blessing in disguise, like not to deal with that, cause fuck, bro. Like I just can't imagine like tasting that like stardom, and then just like out of nowhere you just right back down, bro, in the same position you were back in. Fuck, bro. Now that's why I say I always want like even though a slow build grind of like a starting community, all that, like even though that's like much harder than just having the shit fall in your lap, but like bro, it's just way more. It gets better to maintain, like slowly grow your audience and your community rather than just like, you feel me, out of nowhere just have it all fall in your lap. Just, I don't know, bro.
All that.
And to make things even crazier, Hilfiger at this point is fully locked in on the OnlyFans grind, as he appeared again with Adam22, but this time on Plug Talk.
We should get him on Plug Talk. We can't just let that hog go to waste.
And yes, they did end up doing a scene together, which is a crazy arc going from Juju on that beat kid to doing adult content with Adam22. Around this time, it's really funny, he actually joined my stream and paid to submit a song. It's like a few years ago, and yeah, we talked. He was actually a really nice guy. He's still subscribed to the channel, so shout out to Zay Hilfiger. As for Zayon McCall, he pretty much went the exact opposite route. After the split following the dispute over who the star was on Juju on that beat, Zayon created some new music but slowed down much earlier. And aside from a new song called Rage that he put out in 2023, it's pretty hard to find any trace of him online. So like many of the other viral dance songs
got a regular
on this
job
list, it seems like the music career didn't really pan out for the two. If you're interested in learning about other one-hit wonders like Silento, Designer, and many more, feel free to check out the video that's
that was a good video.
Right now, as well
good
as
shit,
the
Matty
playlist
Balls. Great video, Matty Balls. That was a great video. Very educational. Wow. Damn, bro. Maybe it's recency bias, but I feel bad for that nigga Zay Hilfiger, bro. That's tough, bro. I don't know, bro. That's tough, bro. And who's the other nigga that got hit with allegations? Well, I guess it was Zay Hilfiger was the one that like to fight people, and they got into OnlyFans and shit. Damn, bro. That's just rough. That's rough. Great video from Matty Balls. Great video. Entertaining. Tamper proof. Okay.